What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Tiffany Henyard doesn't mind stealing from the public. In fact, she's too stupid to realize what she's doing will get her in jail. Whenever she is found lying or found stealing, she will typically blame the victims or blame the people who are asking her such questions. They become the enemies. In the village of Dolton, we see the enemies are Jason House, Kiana Belcher, Brittany Norwood, Tammy Brown, former trustee Edward Steve, people who have pushed back against the things that she's doing. In Thornton Township, she's angry at Chris Gonzalez. So anybody who will not allow her to destroy everything will somehow be punished. And so that brings us to today's conversation. How much can we steal from the community? How much can we leverage in theft? That's what Tiffany Henyard gets up every morning and asks herself. First of all, she tried last week to steal some real estate. Don't believe me? Let's listen to her and Kiana Belcher's interaction.
Is a motion to approve the purchase of 5 residential properties, 1 commercial property from the Cook County Land Bank. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion and second? Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. If you think we're about to let you buy properties,
I could care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is, again.
the village of Dolton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties.
Okay, then why y'all motion and second it then? Don't motion and second that.
We had a discussion because we want the people to know why we're not. Because you would get up here and lie and be like, they don't want to buy the properties and they don't want to spend no money. So we motion and second, like we can do in Robert's Rules of Order, and discussion. The discussion is, we don't trust you to buy penny candy. And no, we're not buying no property because the village of Dolton is not in the business of property. Y'all done already stole about 60 houses. So ain't nobody gonna deal with you buying no property. So that's the end of my discussion. I second.
Now, the reason that she's trying to do that so that the village of Dolton can buy those properties and then they'll be reassigned and resold, like how she did with Kamal Woods. That's why Kiana Belcher is pushing back on that. We wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. But nevertheless, Tiffany Henyard has another plan. Not only does she want to steal money from Dolton, she wants to steal money from Thornton Township, in which has more money because it's the biggest budget. There is somebody that's dropping information on what she's trying to do. A man by the name of Paul Roberts. And I want to give a shout out to Brother Hannibal is Hungry. He actually covered this too before I did. But who is Paul Roberts? Now, he doesn't live in Dolton. He lives in Thornton Township. I believe he may live in South Holland. If you're not familiar with him, this is Paul Roberts.
I would love to ask questions of the supervisor, but she refuses even during the annual township meeting. The township assessor, the deputy clerk, the highway commissioner, and trustee Gonzalez have all answered every question I have asked of them. But I believe you will not be elected as supervisor unless you do the same. My comment tonight focuses on the strategy for surviving, perhaps even thriving in Thornton Township in the next year. Paradoxically, we must take the supervisor's advice and do the research to get the facts in order to know the truth, even though she and her administration do their best to prevent us from getting all the facts. Has anyone else noticed that when she promises to show us the receipts we ask for, she shows us nothing other than some remarks that belittle her opponents? Truth is much more than finger pointing and embarrassing each other.
Now, as you can see, he's a guy that Tiffany Henyard doesn't like. Kamal Woods, her boyfriend, doesn't like him. He's a guy that's taking pictures of their vehicles. He's the one that dropped the bomb on the BMW that she believed that Thornton Township bought the BMW. But look what else he's dropping a dime on, okay? Tiffany Henyard is trying to raise a proposed budget. Let's listen at some of the article here. If you look at page 15 of the professional look and proposed budgets below, you will see the 5-month-long process of involving the public in the budget. I don't believe any of this happened. I do read the budget means that Thornton Township is committed to realizing Supervisor Henyard's vision and goes on to propose salary increases over 37% last year and an increase of 49.87% in the general fund, while forecasting lower tax revenue and proposing further cuts to the assessor's office. Earlier this week, I tried calling the clerk's office. On my third attempt, someone picked up the phone. I asked only for the time and location of the public forum to discuss the proposed 2025 township budget. The woman answering me put me on hold while she asked a coworker, and instead of asking my question, transferred me directly to Finance Director Robert Hunt. He was cordial and acted helpful. The meeting is scheduled concurrently with the regularly scheduled board meeting on May 28th, 6 p.m. at headquarters. Now let's get back to this whole point of an increase of 49.87% in the general fund while forecasting lower tax revenue and proposing further cut to the assessor's office. Now, how are you going to increase the general fund by 50% while forecasting lower tax revenue? Now, how does Tiffany Henyard contribute to lower tax revenue? Like, this is why she's a dummy. First of all, remember what she's done in the village of Dolton? By stopping people from getting business licenses. I've covered this a lot. If you don't donate to her, or if you're an adversary, she doesn't let you either get a business license or renew a business license. So if you have like certain bars or restaurants and what she's tried to push out of the business, then they don't pay any more taxes to the township or to the village. Basically, you get lower tax revenue. So you're up in Springfield, Illinois, trying to beg. Also, remember that $6.8 million grant she said she got from Springfield? If she got it, she already spent the money, okay? So you have a vision that increases the budget, but it doesn't increase tax revenue. But now, what else is wrong with this? How are you gonna increase the salaries here of 37% when you guys don't do anything, okay? Now, that would even include her. According to certain people though, she's not trying to increase her salary, but trying to increase the salary of those people that are there. Now, let's look at the post here in the Dolton Politics group. It says Tiffany Henyard's current salary is $306,000 a year. If the measure on May 28, 24 passed, she'll be making $400,000. Remember, 30% of that number is $91,800. Y'all are hella rich. Tiffany Henyard becoming a millionaire within 2 years in office. Now, Stephanie Wiedemann, who was then fired as the chief of staff, worked there in that capacity for many years. She believes that this is something different. Township officials can't change their pay mid-term. They have to vote on a pay scale, but that only applies for the following terms. Their salary stays the same no matter what. Somebody says, Stephanie, we'll blur out their name. Non-elected officials can get the pay increase is what I understand it is. So Freeman, Hunt, Woods, Price all could essentially get that pay increase as an example. She most likely will not be in Thornton Township in 2025. She has to run again for mayor again and Thornton Township supervisor, which she was not elected. But I'm not really mad at Henyard anymore. I'm not upset with her. I think we're past that. My position is, look at all of these people talking about how she's the best mayor. Now remember, she spent all this money in Washington, D.C. on a Dolton trip that used Thornton Township's money. Want to know what some of her supporters said? Let's check it out.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993. And she's the best we ever had.
You know, you're doing a lot of programs, good programs for the, the senior citizens, and you're doing a lot of programs for, people who are on a fixed budget. Mm-hmm. But what about the people, the blue-collar people who are still carrying this, this town?
I was very appreciative of the transparency of the supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Were there any questions that you have at all?
No, right now I'm going to give her a chance.
You see, guys, these are the real enemies of progress, okay? These are the real enemies of progress. The people who allow her to do what she's doing. They come to the meetings, they say, hey, We support her. She's the best thing that ever happened to us. All of that. See, these are the people that we take umbrage with. Okay? These are the people that we have problems with. These Negroes that basically you're stealing from yourself. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. Your future kids may not have access to police vehicles being in the city. Why? Because Tiffany Henyard's administration, you guys are gonna get the cars repossessed. You might not even have normal things like the traffic lights coming in. So those people who've bought in homes in Dolton or in Thornton Township, they might not even have facilities working now because of what's going on. That's how sad it is. These people don't see anything wrong with it because they're stealing from themselves. And you're stealing from your own financial future like idiots. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shirley Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate your fire. You just heard the bell. We're out.